Hello and welcome to Aslan Live. I watched the Göztepe game one more time and wanted to share some thoughts about it. And if you haven't, please hit the like button and subscribe button if you enjoy this kind of content. Galatasaray won 3-1, and right from the start I think Galatasaray played very good. Even though Göztepe scored early, Galatasaray right before their goal after 2 minutes, Gabriel Saras crossed to Osimhen, if you guys remember it, where Osimhen didn't reach it. And it was a counter when Osimhen had the ball, tried to play Barış Alper through. It was after like 4 or 5 minutes. If he had played to Leroy Sané on the opposite side, he would be alone with the goalkeeper. So it was just signs that Galatasaray was on, I think. And, the goal we conceded, the 1-0 goal, was from our throw-in and they countered on us. We missed one of our most important player, Torreira. In that situation, I don't think it would have been a chance if Torreira had been there. First of all, it's Juan who is countering there. And it's Gabriel Sara's man in the beginning. So Leroy Sané tries to help him, and Juan does fantastic there, comes between two of them, plays a through ball where maybe Davinson Sanchez should have reacted a bit quicker. Davinson Sanchez struggles a lot when we are playing in the Europe and then coming back. It seems like he struggles a lot there because, and I don't want to yet say that it's a crisis that he's not playing good and so on. I think he played great against Liverpool, against Bodø. I don't see that his concentration was lacking in this game either. But it seems like his body is struggling in these types. And yeah, Joan played a great pass behind the defense. They hit the woodwork, and then Salah timed it wrongly and they scored 1-0 goal pretty early. And from there on you could have thought that Galatasaray would have struggled, but right after they took control again. And Göztepe is not a team that wants to have possession or anything like that, but Galatasaray showed that they didn't rack down after that goal, and that's so important mentally or physically. And one thing I want to say is that Göztepe, I think they did our job a bit easy. I'm not trying to take anything away from Galatasaray, because what Galatasaray did very good was being patient, taking advantage of what Göztepe gave us. First of all, I always said this, from goal kicks, for example, Göztepe took all of the players on our half or on the midfield there. So it was so easy for Galatasaray to defend those goal kicks, for example, because what many teams do is that they are taking players down, for example, their center backs and their goalkeeper and their center midfielders, and dragging the team on their field. But Göztepe didn't do that. So it was pretty easy for Galatasaray to just go in a block and defend, for example. And we won the first duels, the second balls, all the time. So if Göztepe had played more from behind and then shooting up, for example, yes, their intention is not to play out, but they are dragging our players down, because then our players need to run back and forward, for example, Gabriel Sara, Lemina, and so on. But they didn't do that, and our wingers. So it was pretty easy for Galatasaray to defend that. And also one thing that surprised me a bit was that Göztepe pressed high with their wingbacks also on our fullbacks, creating a lot of space for Barış Alper and Osimhen, trusting their center backs. For example, on the 1-1 goal, Abdul Kerim is chipping it behind the defense, and Barış Alper is in a duel against Furkan, their center back. And they risked it very much there. The same thing happened on the red card situation. So, but the 1-1 goal, incredible by Barış Alper, incredible by Osimhen that is reading it there. I just wanted to take a few words about Barış Alper because I have criticized him for a long time now. I liked much more what I saw from this game from Barış Alper. He was back to basics, playing simple, running, fighting. He played 45 minutes, and in those 45 minutes, he was in 10 duels. That's pretty high. So when you are in duels, it's showing that you are in the game, and that's the Barış Alper we know. He was like in 17, 18 duels every game, which is insanely high for a player. Seeing Barış Alper going back to the basics was for me very, very, I'm so glad to see that. Also on the red card situation, I think it's a clear red card. You know, people are saying, Osimhen is making the free kick first. Yeah, maybe he does that. But if Bokele is not smart enough to go on the ground there, it's almost impossible for the referee to see what's happening there. And then he's hitting him in his face. And if the rules are, if I know them correctly, is that even if you are getting the free kick, but you're hitting one player in his face, it is a yellow card anyway. So I think it was a yellow card, and I see the second yellow card, and I see the narrative from people, journalists and media that they're trying to create some narrative now, like Osimhen is going too easy on the ground and blah blah blah. Look at the other players, not only Osimhen, every players. Look at Rafa Silva, look at Skriniar and so on. Don't come up with that Osimhen is the only one is doing it, Torreira is the only one is doing it, because I hate these kind of narratives and manipulating. We remember the yellow card things that, Galatasaray is never getting yellow cards. And how weak the referees in Turkey are, we know that mentally. And it's not easy for them either, to be honest, for the referees to perform under these circumstances where presidents are threatening them. We will come back to the referee scandal also. I will talk a bit about that. But getting these easily yellow cards and blah 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 from the last season, the board need to stand up against these people in media that are trying to say that Osimhen is just falling and blah blah blah. It's a clear yellow card, the second yellow card. So I think Galatasaray played very good, as I said, in the first half. And then they got the red card, Göztepe. And let me talk quick about the 1-1 goal where the referee goes to the VAR. I don't understand, how can it go to the VAR? What is a VAR situation there? I just don't get it. It's just the referees in Turkey is... it's just incredible how they just top everything each week. So 1-1 to halftime. Second half, I think Okan Hoca is doing something incredible, that he is taking out Barış Alper, who I think played good. And when, again, from the media again, now Barış Alper, he doesn't perform and blah blah blah. Barış Alper was very good in this game compared to the other games like Bodø and Beşiktaş, for example. He played great against Liverpool also. But it was just tactical change from Okan Hoca. He said it himself. Because in the second half, when Göztepe was one less man, Galatasaray didn't want two players wide on the left side, for example, because Jakobs was on the left side, wide and high, and he said that Barış Alper likes to go widely, but we didn't need player there, and we saw it in the second half also, that Jakobs was alone on the left side, but he got supported by Yunus time by time, and he got supported by Abdul Kerim. And have a player like Icardi there instead. I know it's easy to say this after the game because it went so well. It could have been, a disaster or something that, like Okan Buruk likes to change out a defender or something for striker. But now we took out a forward. Barış Alper is a forward in my eyes, a winger forward. And took in Icardi. I think that was just masterclass from Okan Buruk, and they didn't put like Yunus as a clear winger, as a left winger, and Icardi as a striker. They both was like attacking midfielders where we need them. So and we took advantage of that, the half space where Göztepe made a lot of space for us, because Göztepe plays a 5-3-2. Therefore, it's much space between on the sides of their midfielders and their wingbacks. And we took hugely advantage of that, especially with Salai, Sara, Yunus. For example, on the second goal, Salai for me played a fantastic game and played a great pass to Yunus, who is just heading it perfectly down to Sara. Gabriel Sara shoots. What we have missed from him, the long shots. And Salai for me I think he was the man of the match in my eyes, like my subjective eyes. Of course, Osimhen played incredible, and Gabriel Sara as well. Do I want to say that Gabriel Sara is now ready for, yes, now he is back on track? I hope so. I really hope so. I love Gabriel Sara, the way he's playing. His passes was great. You see that when Leroy Sané is doing those kind of movements, and Gabriel Sara learns to play with him, you see that he is able to play those passes. But Gabriel Sara, yes, he played fantastic, as I said, but he was also very great against Göztepe last season. We remember that game where we won 2-1, I think, where Yunus Akgün scored with his right foot. Gabriel Sara was played like Alonso, Xabi Alonso, in his prime. So Göztepe plays this kind of defensive football and are not so don't have so many midfielders centrally. No, in the midfield. So it makes, maybe that game plan makes it a bit easier for Gabriel Sara. I don't know. But again, Gabriel Sara played great against Başakşehir as well. So I just hope we are going to see him back on track. And on the 3-1 goal, where Osimhen is winning the ball. Now it's Galatasaray is countering on Göztepe from a throw-in. They are also taking those long throw-ins. And Osimhen is winning that second ball to Yunus. And again, we can't underestimate what Leroy Sané is doing there. He's reading that counter so well that Yunus can play to him as an option. And again, Salai plays a great ball to Gabriel Sara. I love those runs from Gabriel Sara when he's making those runs. And he crosses to Osimhen, who is in the box again. And so good to see Mauro Icardi scoring there on the rebound. And I think it was just a great game by Galatasaray. And I don't buy that. The red card, yes, of course, it makes a difference in the game. Of course it does. But Galatasaray dominated it from the first second. We could have been 2-0 up after 5 minutes. After Göztepe scored, Galatasaray dominated the game completely after that. I'm just impressed by Galatasaray. And Okan Hoxha, congratulations to him in 120 league games. He got his 100 victory, which is insane, I must say. So, yeah, the team played so good. I love this team. And it's so great to see that we are using much more players. Like, for example, you know, in the previous 3 seasons of Okan Hoxha, it has been 11, 12 men, maybe 13 who has carried the team. But it looks like more and more players now. We have a much more depth in our squad when we are missing Singo, Ilkay Gündoğan in this, and Torreira in this game. Yet this team is so good, man. So good. So yeah, happy with the team. Happy with Abdülkerim, played good. I think he had that one mistake, but in overall I think he played very good. Leroy Sané made those runs, and he could have had the 2 assists. I think he played good. It's so good to see when he's physically ready. He's just on another level physically. You're seeing just his acceleration. He's just flying between players. And Lemina played great. The whole team played great. So, yeah, just nice to see. Let's look at the referee scandal, where out of 571 referees, 371 had betting accounts, and 152 of them were actively placing bets. As a referee, that's not so good. It doesn't look good whatsoever. But again, you know, some of their, I can't say all of their fans, but our rival fans are like, yeah, now you see Galatasaray, ha 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 ha. Yet it is the other teams that have been has been taken for match fixing, and their president has been in those types of scandals. Sometimes you need to look yourself in the mirror before you are judging others. And Galatasaray are coming out. Sayın Dursun Özbek is coming out with a statement that Galatasaray, you know, wants and are just want a fair competition. So yeah, it's just, am I shocked? No, but it's incredible, you know. It's just incredible. So yeah, that was my take on the game. Congratulations to the whole team. And I think we played extremely well against Göztepe, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.